I'm going to explore and find dinosaur tracks as well as petroglyphs, which are Indian art inscribed on rock walls from thousands of years ago. I am in Moab, Utah. These things are also not easy to find. There's not many inscriptions or signs here. You just have some general areas to look, and so I'm in that area. So it looks like there are some inscriptions over here. Most of it's been kind of rubbed away, but you can still see these things here. These are from 1000 to 6000 BC, which is, it's about almost 8,000 years old, at least the oldest ones. Maybe the newer ones are maybe still like 2,000, 3,000 years old. I think it goes all the way until about 600 AD. So a lot of the vandalism in the last 100 years has done the most damage to these, which is rather sad. But you can still see them. Don't touch them, just get up close. There's stuff like up here, which is about 7 feet high, and then most of the big stuff is on these rock slabs that are at least 12 feet high all over in that direction too. There is no fenced off area. It's not like to preserve it. You would expect them to fence it off, but you know, they let you get up to it. You just have to have good faith and not touch it and vandalize it. So it's incredible how long humans have been here, and yeah, a lot of it's been rubbed away, but you can see some like spirals. These are probably the oldest things closest to the ground to me. They look like just holes, but apparently there was a whole tent here that archaeologists took away when they found it, and the tent poles were drilled into the rocks here, and apparently there's a old historic tent here of some sort that has been here for a long time. Now we're off to the dinosaur tracks. Now I read on the Google Maps reviews that it's not easy to find. They don't make it clear. So I have to hunt around. Even though there's a sign there that says it's here, you don't get the exact location. So I'll hunt around, see if I can find it. So I found it. There's this giant slab here, and you can see those tracks there. It's crazy how archaeologists could have identified that. I mean, they just look like little spots on the rock to me, unless you look closely. Now this blows those other petroglyphs out of the water. These are millions of years old. Apparently these are about 190 million years old that these creatures stepped here. So it really puts things into perspective. We are just a little blip on the time map. A lot of things came before us, and a lot of things will come after us. So, you know, I wish I could have seen these, travel back in time and saw them from a safe angle or something, but this is the best we can do. Now apparently it's not just this. There's plenty of other tracks all around this area, consisting of up to 10 different animals of various sizes, and then there's a whole wall of petroglyphs further ahead along this trail. I would say this trail is somewhat steep, but doable if you just put some effort. Now there's the slab, but if you look all the way up here, you got some petroglyphs. Animals on it. I wouldn't have even noticed this if there wasn't a sign there that pointed it out. I really think it's awesome that they leave it out here for us to explore and find, rather than just in some museum like everything else. That said, you know, you have to not vandalize things. The sign mentions how people have been vandalizing the stuff over here where there's a whole wall of petroglyphs. I'll show you those later. This dude wrote 2009, and then I guess his initials, but they're scratched out, so you can't even read the initials. I mean, that's not cool, dude. No one cares that you did that. You're not cool. Walls and walls of petroglyphs, which are thousands, hundreds of years old. Here's one. You can see the outline of a 3-fingered foot here. The others are kind of hard to make out. Like it's hard to even tell unless you really look at it. Like, here's another one, another foot here. This is probably like a smaller animal. And yeah, apparently this rock flipped over, and if it wasn't for that flip about 50 years ago, people wouldn't have discovered this. So we'll come back to these. Let's check out the petroglyphs, which are much more distinguishable. All right, so I gotta keep in mind I am in Moab. This is the place where that guy lost his arm because a rock fell on it and he had to cut his arm off to survive. And there's not anyone else here, so I gotta be very careful. I mean, that rock looks like it's about to come loose. Back to the dinosaur tracks. So there's one here. There's another right here. You can see some more tracks over there. There's one up there. And if you didn't look closely, I would have missed them. There's one there, one down here. My guess is this used to be just this giant slab of mud. So they walked through it and then it got fossilized somehow. Incredible. Almost done. We're back at the start of this petroglyph. And here's some more. You can see they're hunting. I don't get why some of the animals are like 3 times bigger than the others, but they all look like the same animal. But yeah, and I also wonder if these were teenagers just fooling around, or was this part of the actual adult tribal tradition?